Hey, muy buenas tardes to everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. Bueno, mi gente, first and foremost, muchísimas gracias again for you guys' prayers, wishes, and your great support. Yesterday was an amazing live. Y como lo dicho es deuda, today I'm gonna talk on something that currently I had the privilege of conversating with someone. And most importantly, it had to do with what a lot of people have been having in mind, right? Which is what a sherm status. And just to pinpoint, here I'm gonna trying to concentrate on how there is no loyalty when it comes to these individuals, or once you're in that pedestal, right? You could do 1,000 things right too, or for the clique, as they say, but at the end of the day, it's a man's step on the next man's world, right? But anyways, allow me to take it back. I talked about huero sherm a lot, and I kept out and from a lot of stories that I personally seen with camaradas in regards to this individual, for the reason that, as far as I knew, his status was still good. He was just on Sam status, and I didn't want to jeopardize a camarada, because he's just one of those individuals that could put one and one together, and there was going to be backslash, because Sam's status couldn't last forever, right? But going back to Pelican Bay, just to pinpoint, I had I'm not gonna say the privilege, but I had the runaround to work with this individual as, the San Diego faction, because that's exactly what it was in Pelican Bay. It was a faction that, the pointer of all them was Sherm. He had the people, the power, and gave a lot of power to this faction, which at the time they were being left alone. As you guys are aware of all the stories of power struggles, not once do you hear them power struggling with someone else, right? Because they were respected because of the amount of gente had under their belt. So, for those that always wonder, camera has always been, something you couldn't do, at least when it came to a member, right? It was frowned upon. But, it's just the way how these individuals, they allow that power to get to their head and thinking they could actually get away with things. So they go ahead and put the right foot forward and go ahead with things, right? As you guys know, as Weather Sherm, right when Sana and Puppet had put out that had put out that notice, whoever came out in Gangland was gonna be on the hit list. Right after that, Weather Sherm goes on that, gets interviewing, basically, retando, challenging these two individuals, like, say something, which at the moment they didn't, and just to put a little backbone to things, everything used to circle around Weather Sherm. For example, when Bat was there, it was, get hooked up with Weather Sherm and, just be around and, support and try to do as much possible. As you guys know, he even went as far as to orchestrate, an escape plan, right? Which I'm pretty sure everybody knows of, so there's no need to touch on that. Needless to say, Bat was one of the ones that was always right there with Güero, without calling it out of place. Mainly because Bat had that supply coming in from the Irayanos, and Güero had the gente as the pipelines, but he could always use more, right? So as you guys know, there was an issue with Silent George, and Wettersherm squashed it. As opened up the pipeline for Cheeks at the moment for the Diaz Carnales, which is Robert and his carnal. just in overall, without going too much into detail, he established, point blank, he established the SD card. Outside of Gato, Huero was up there, but again, when an individual thinks he's too much or allows power to corrupt, which it happens to everybody. I mean, if we sit down and look at YouTube, just look how a little bit of subscribers, a little bit of views corrupts people to the sense that not just aren't they making sense with what they speak on, but they're actually going against everything that as one he pertains to hold treasure to them, values, And I'm not going to get into all that names playing or none of that. Just everybody could get their conclusion from it. I'm just trying to relate what I'm talking about. But, as you guys know, another big no-no, which even though it had gotten clear years back that, they could actually, to get a better sentencing and make it out the shoe, they could admit to certain things. As you guys are aware, in 2009 when Huero got sentenced, he actually admitted to the DA that he was an M member. And that under being an M member, he called the shot for one of those things, which in a sense, it wasn't nothing negative. But to take you back a little bit back, the homie Spike and Dopey, they had a RICO case with another carnal from San Diego. And in that, it was basically, worked amongst them that they were going to help the carnal get to the feds by, yeah, he's an M member, which was allowed, right? Which they did. And at the same time, Huero didn't want to hear it. His exact words were, that don't have, just cause, well, you guys seen it, just as a carnal says something's good, don't say that I'm saying it's good. He was just that individual that liked to push his way. So, there was no buts or ifs. He had the two homies hit and removed. And then years later, here he goes and does the exact same thing cause, he feels he's drowning up in Pelican Bay. Now keep in mind, politics is the way that it works, For all those youngsters thinking everything is a cherry on top of things. You go up in prison, you handle your business and you're going to be okay. It don't work like that. Politics play a big part and it has a lot of different angles that it's going to play out. For example, at this time, Huero was cool going on TV, even though he knew there were certain pilis that didn't want that, but he felt he could. He was going into committee talking about carnal this, carnal that. Do you remember the last time we talked? In whatever sense that meant, Now I'm not trying to input anything on this Billy, cause, when he was in Pelican Bay, I was there and, he was as solid as they came. Again, I go back to the live we conversated, when people talk about things hitting the fan and not having fear, that's BS, man. Everything you do in prison comes with the fear factor. Period. For somebody to tell me, oh, I'm big bad, I'm out on the yard or I'm on the concrete yard in the shoe. I have to go out there and try to knock this fool's jugular. You got that tower there. Where you gonna go, man? The minute they start seeing blood, they're gonna pull that mini and you might as well just try to rush and hope you're able to pull your mission before that mini hits you. So you're telling me while you're handcuffed walking out to the concrete yard, there's no fear? Hell yeah, there's a fear of you doing it and there's a fear of you not doing it. A lo menos if you don't consider yourself Superman, right? But getting back to Huero, when he hit Victorville, I'm gonna give an example. He jumped on the first thing to be good with one of the main pilis, which was Rube, right? Which the minute he felt he needed to clean up to protect his name to being good, he did so with Negro. Again, you're not to lay a hand on another pili, but you're good to politic and think you're better than the next pili, right? So as things went on, as you guys know, Huero kept doing his thing, and eventually the feds just cracked down on him and put him on SAM status. which was no more TV, no more, excuse me, not TV, no more visits, no more letters. Heck, just put him strictly on his own side, right? Now I want to pinpoint on something that he made it real clear. They have not built a prison that could crack him. He thought he was always above the next man. I recently talked to somebody that was there with him, and as well with the SD faction without having to go into marcas ni nada, right? Up until a week and a half ago, weather was still good. But as things are right now, it's, Cheeks, Bat, and all those people that were at once holding Weddle into his pedestal because he was making them what, on top of all everybody up there that at each other's throat, right? They're taking over for the simple reason that Weddle tapped out. Currently, there's something circulating around that Weddle told whoever he had to tell that he wanted to cooperate. Now, the reason I'm even speaking about it ain't to put down, that he got put in a situation where, as a lifer, he just didn't want no part of it no more. Again, he wasn't doing anything no more, right? But just waiting around. But the main thing I think that threw him off was, he found out that his so-called carnales, they were politicking against him. What once was, that little diablo or whatever you want to say in Güero's ear, hey, carnal, you got this. Go ahead and handle it. Do that interview. Hey, carnal, you're good. Nothing's going to happen. Go ahead and go against these two other pilis that don't want nobody on TV. Go ahead and, go up in court and admit so you were able to go to a better spot, right? Cause let's face it, I'm not going to say he was scared, but, he couldn't handle the shoe no more, which is understandable. I was back there for over 10 years and, it ain't nothing to be proud for being able to take, right? Cause, it plays games with you. Till this day, it still plays games, It's just, you pick up things your mind does that you don't shake. And I would shortly get into that. But, as what this person told me, and, I'm not gonna say he just told me with words, but I seen it, right? Where the sherm officially dropped out. Cause you don't want to be in Sam status. Could you blame the guy? Could you also blame him that the people that he literally was there for him was, you could say to a sense, put where they're at right now, because a lot of them got blessed because of him and basically started politicking on, he went on TV. He admitted, well, he moved on another pili when it wasn't even clear in section. The same thing he tried to protect and showed rude respect and love under was used against him. I don't know how that worked out, but I guess when he moved on Negro, it wasn't clear yet all the way. Which I'm sure that's nothing to do, because it would have been justified at the end of the day, right? But, him coming on TV and, talking about he had previous back conversation with the gang task, to what extent? And if he's on camera admitting, talking about brothers' business and the way they behave, there's one thing admitting you're an M member, and the next thing is you're actually speaking for the next Billy, right? Not yourself, but the next man. That only comes with those things between the legs. But, numerous of subscribers have been asking me about Weddle's status, and yes, till, like I said, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, they were waiting on him. To what extent waiting? Cause, of what I heard through Weddle off, I don't know if, it was a tactic from the squad or the gang task to say that Bat and them were trying to press an issue, and, they were waiting for him to pull out of Sam status to have his issue coming in regards. I don't know if that was a tactic or if it's true, which, in my humble opinion, I think it's true, They don't want to share power. It's, just like Güero, at one point, his pedestal went up to a certain point where he thought he could do without having no repercussions. And I'm not gonna say a dog eat dog world. It's a betraying thing, They play that he were buddies, and next thing you know, they didn't want to share what at one point were to share with them. But again, I wanted to put this out with you guys, mainly because I really think, that there's a saying that my grandpa used to say, right? That used to say, el pez muere por su propia boca. The fish dies because of his own mouth. And it's exactly this situation. Everything that at one point, not only did he say, which in reality, I didn't doubt it, but he said it on camera that he would not do, it came to be. And I'm able to touch on things that I don't want to touch on for repercussions on camaradas and neighborhoods. Because again, Huero has always been someone to be feared. But here we are, talking about legend this, legend that, and legends speak, well, according to individuals, legends or pilis or whatever you want to call them. To me, they're good politicians, they talk a good one. At the end of the day, they do exactly what they preach they're not going to do. And I would touch on Huero, and he heard a lot of camaradas because he was one of those that wasn't power hungry. He thought he was the power. He wouldn't allow you to explain nada. It was what he said and how he said it. And if something negative came with your name on it, you were done. Period. As I would touch on. Anyways, mi gente, I just thought I would touch on it for all the questions that I've been asked. Officially, Huero he's done. He's cooperating with them people. Accordingly, he did it not because of Sam's status, but he found out his brothers were politicking against him. His righteous brothers, his SD card that at one time he sealed, I mean, just think about it. I could tell you, as you guys know, I used to involve my family in that. I could tell you 10 different stories on how he had things going and he pulled cheeks in. How he pulled the Diaz Carnales. How he pulled silent. He was always constantly thinking of them. And again, for those youngsters, stop believing those cats that get out and put this fairy tale out that it's a way of walk to earn yours, to actually get to see what loyalty is. There's no loyalty. Those you go up in there and be righteous to are the ones, these individuals, because I'm not going to say it's either them vatos being that scandalous, right? Because there's some, but it's these individuals are going to utilize them to get to you for something they don't like. There's no loyalty. There's no honor no more in prison. I mean, as a camarada, and excuse me if it comes out offensive, I love my raza. I love what I spent more than half my life, and I respect and love our raza norteña, bulldogs. I'm on a whole different viaje, but what once was my causa, man, it's hurtful to see what's going on. How can you get out of the joint right now and be like, oh, I'm this big bad campolero, look at my tacas, I earned them. What did you earn? You're following another man's program, a Tecato's program, first and foremost. And there's no more following a program. These individuals are not just dictating your stuff, but they're straight punking you. Straight up. I recently did a story about D from Fontana. I didn't say it, but there was a few individuals that know this individual that is on the mainland right now. Even what your family sends you on a package, you have to kick them down $30 or else. So you're a soldado, you're a machica warrior. When another individual comes up to you and says, give me $30 of what your family sent you or else. And don't get me wrong, I was there, not in that extent, but hey, I was an idiot. I was a punk. Yes, I was scared at that time to that individual that says, nah, there ain't no fear. All you guys see, is full of BS. Cause in reality, if I had him sit well in between my legs and I wasn't scared, the minute somebody came at me sideways, I should have been a campolero. I'm a chica warrior and hoop bang. So don't believe these fairy tales. Even the most solid one of them goes out backwards and starts going to court to benefit them as they do throughout their whole career. It's about me, and only me. At one point, well, I'll just leave this topic alone. I do want to throw a couple stories out on how he abused his power, which I will touch. I just wanted to open up with this current situation, and again, I did not just hear it from a good trusting camarada from San Diego, but I seen it. I know a lot of people can't get their head around that. Just cause I stepped back, people still in touch with me. Again, I stepped back not cause I did anything wrong. So, don't mean a lot. Everybody's ungrateful when they lose respect. Miss me with all that. Oh, this, and that. Oh, he's this, and that. Once you really live that sureño life, that's out your mouth because there's too much that goes around besides being in a cell following Atecato's rules and regulations. Believe me. But with this has said, mi gente, I hope I made sense. I'm sorry if this goes out later than I told you guys it would. Is the person helping me had things to do, so I need to step it up and earn on my own. Again, I send my love. Please, everyone, stay true to yourself. Stay loyal to your loved ones. As a whole, circle, family, those that, well, you guys get it. Be true what's going to be true to you, period. Muy buenas tardes. My blessings to all.